Hello and welcome to today's video on how to bake cake box mix. So for today's video, we're going to be using the Pillsbury strawberry flavored cake. You're more than welcome to use any flavor that you like. This is just one of my favorites that I like baking with. So to start off, we're essentially just going to be following the baking instructions located at the back of the box, as well as the 3 ingredients listed at the very top. Just for a personal preference, I do like to substitute some of these items, so a little bit on ahead in the video, you'll see which of the ones I like to substitute with. So as stated on the box, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 just so the oven can be ready once I finish blending everything together. So for our ingredients, we of course have our cake mix, and instead of water, as a personal preference, I like to use milk instead. Next, we're going to go ahead and have our 3 eggs. And another substitution we'll be doing is that instead of oil, I'll go ahead and use melted butter instead. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and melt my half a cup of butter, and I'm just going to pop this in the microwave for 30 to 45 seconds. This is a stand mixer that we're going to be using to blend all of our ingredients together. And what I like to do is I like to start off with my dry ingredients. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour out the cake mix into the bowl first. Next, we'll be incorporating our wet ingredients to the mixture. What I like to do is I like to have the stand mixer on at a low setting while I put in the rest of the ingredients. So first, I'm going to be pouring in our half a cup of melted butter, and I'm just going to be pouring that in very slowly into the mixture. Next, we're going to be doing our 1 cup of milk. And lastly, I'm going to be putting in our 3 eggs. So after all our wet and dry ingredients were incorporated together, I go ahead and increase the speed of the stand mixer to about a 5, and I just let it do its thing for about 2 minutes or until I see that the consistency is very smooth. So after about 2 minutes have passed, I went ahead and stopped the stand mixer just to check on how the batter is doing. And here is a close-up on how smooth it looks, and there's no clumps to be found. But still, just to be on the safe side, what I like to do is I like to grab a spatula, and what I'm just going to go ahead and do and scrape off the sides of the bowl, just in case some of the mixture was missed during the blending. We can make sure that everything is just incorporated to just be on the safe side of it all. So once I noticed that the batter was all good to go, I went ahead and buttered up my pan. A good alternative for butter would be using a spray on cooking oil as well if you want. Now that all my batter is ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start pouring it into my baking pan. And I'm just going to be using the same spatula as before, and I'm going to be scooping out as much of the mixture as I can and make sure that I don't miss any of the batter. Once all the batter has been poured into the pan, what I like to do is to ensure that the cake bakes evenly, I like to level out the batter. So with the spatula, I kind of move it all around the pan just to make sure that everything is even and to avoid any air bubbles. So here I went ahead and popped the cake into the oven, and based on my pan size, which is a 13 by 9 inch, we're going to go ahead and leave the cake to bake for approximately 34 to 38 minutes. Based on the pan you are using, Pillsbury, they do have other recommendations as for pan size and time. So we're just going to go ahead and follow that, and we're going to see how the cake looks after the time ends. After 40 minutes, I pulled the cake out from the oven, and it does look like it baked evenly, and it is a nice golden brown color. And now we're just going to go ahead and check to see if the cake baked through the inside. Usually you would use a toothpick, but I'll be using a fork, and I'm just going to go ahead and poke a few holes, one in the center, and just to make sure that the cake baked throughout the whole entire cake. So since the fork is coming out clean, that does mean that the cake baked through. If the toothpick or the fork would have picked up any extra batter or would have just not come out clean, that just means you need to leave the cake in the oven just for a little bit longer. But here I am making sure that all the sides baked evenly, and this is the cake. So just to get a glimpse on the inside, I went ahead and cut up a slice of the cake, and it is a bit dense but still moist, and it is ready to serve. Thank you so much for watching.